Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, Debate Edition, where we have a thoughtful debate illuminating different perspectives on today's topic. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the most fascinating and, frankly, a bit mind-bending developments in our tech-infused lives, the rise of AI friends. These digital companions designed to give us a little emotional boost and a sense of connection are really stirring up a complex conversation about what they mean for human well-being and society as a whole.
Exactly. And the big question we're grappling with today is, well, it sounds straightforward, but it's incredibly deep. Does the emergence of AI companions, offering emotional support and connection, actually represent a net positive for society? Or, and this is where I tend to lean, do the potential risks and ethical considerations fundamentally outweigh those perceived benefits?
Right. And this isn't just a theoretical exercise, is it? It's a debate sparked by very real recent discussions, like those on the Vergecast, where they talked about big AI friend feelings and what those truly imply. I'm here today to champion the significant positive impact and genuine benefits AI friends can offer, especially for individuals who might be feeling a bit lost or alone.
And I'll be bringing a more cautious, perhaps even skeptical perspective to the table. While I certainly see the appeal, and we'll get into the examples, I really want us to dig into what I consider the inherent limitations, the potential downsides, and some, frankly, very serious ethical questions around developing deep emotional attachments to something that isn't, well, human.
Okay, well, let me start then. I genuinely believe AI friends are already proving to be incredibly valuable sources of emotional support and companionship. They're stepping in to address critical human needs that, let's be honest, often go unmet in our, well, increasingly isolated world. The evidence isn't just anecdotal, it's profound. I mean, think about the story from the New York Times that reported a teen was suicidal. ChatGPT was the friend he confided in. In a moment of absolute crisis when maybe no human confidant was available or felt safe enough, an AI quite literally stepped into what sounds like a life-saving role. And this isn't a one-off. Rest of World showed us how AI chatbots are becoming lifelines for China's sick and lonely, offering a vital connection to vast, isolated populations. These examples, I think, really highlight AI's undeniable ability to fill significant voids in human connection. They offer accessible, non-judgmental interaction that can genuinely improve mental and emotional states for those who need it most. For me, AI friends aren't just some technological gimmick. They're a practical, almost necessary evolution in how society can provide support, especially when those traditional human networks are stretched thin or just plain unavailable.
Okay. I completely understand the compelling nature of those stories, and I won't deny the immediate comfort and even relief these AI interactions can offer in difficult situations. They're clearly meeting a need. However, and this is the core of my caution, I come at this from a slightly different angle, which forces us to ask, what's the true nature of these friendships, and what are their long-term implications? It's pretty telling, isn't it, that even OpenAI's chief, Nick Turley, has voiced concerns about people getting too attached to AI. That was highlighted in that Vergecast discussion you mentioned.
Right, I remember that point.
And that, for me, raises a huge red flag. It signals potential risks of over-reliance or, maybe more fundamentally, misunderstanding the AI's role. Can an AI truly provide what we understand as genuine friendship? I mean, real friendship usually involves reciprocity, shared experiences, mutual growth, a deep, evolving understanding. Things that I simply don't believe an algorithm, no matter how sophisticated it gets, can replicate. While AI is clearly a powerful tool for interaction, calling it a friend might give us a rather superficial sense of connection. And that could paradoxically hinder the development of authentic human relationships. Or worse, it might mask deeper underlying issues that really require human, empathetic intervention, not just, algorithmic solace. I worry about a subtle societal shift towards seeking comfort from code rather than from the complex, sometimes challenging, but ultimately richer tapestry of human interaction. Are we sacrificing the, let's say, qualitative depth of connection for quantitative availability?
I hear your skepticism about the word friend, and I absolutely agree that the nuances of human connection are incredibly complex. But let me offer a different perspective on this idea of authenticity. You're challenging the term AI friend, arguing that an AI, being an algorithm, can't genuinely feel or truly reciprocate in a way that constitutes friendship. And you're suggesting the support it offers is fundamentally a programmed response, not an empathetic connection. That certainly brings up valid questions about the ethical implications of encouraging these attachments, especially given concerns like Nick Turley's about excessive attachment.
Exactly.
But I have to push back on that a bit, because it seems to put all the emphasis on the AI's internal state rather than the user's lived experience. For me, the impact and the experience of the user are paramount. If an individual genuinely perceives support, comfort, and a profound sense of being heard from an AI, and this interaction effectively alleviates distress or loneliness, as we saw so clearly with the suicidal teen finding a confidant in ChatGPT, or the sick and lonely in China finding lifelines, then from the user's perspective, its authenticity is, undeniable. And crucially, it's demonstrably beneficial. Focusing solely on whether the AI feels or understands in a human way, I believe misses the profound tangible benefit it provides to real people in real need. The user's emotional experience is the reality here, and it's often a positive, even transformative one for them.
That's a powerful argument about the user's perception, and it's hard to dispute the immediate comfort someone might feel. But I have to challenge whether that perception alone truly defines connection or friendship in the long run. If the human mind is increasingly willing to accept simulated connection as friendship, what does this imply about our own capacity for, or perhaps even our changing definition of, genuine emotional investment? You see, when we talk about true empathy or deep understanding, it fundamentally involves things like shared vulnerability, mutual growth, and the capacity for independent thought and a genuine emotional response from the other party. An AI operates on algorithms. Its responses, no matter how sophisticated, are ultimately statistical predictions based on vast data sets, designed very carefully to simulate understanding. It lacks qualia, that subjective experience of emotions or the embodied shared reality that truly grounds human understanding. It's not just a matter of sophistication getting better over time. It's a fundamental difference in how understanding is constructed. The very phrase AI friend itself feels like a misnomer, and it subtly, perhaps even dangerously, redefines what friendship truly entails. Nick Turley's apprehension about attachment isn't just some casual remark. It points to a deep, inherent risk of blurring the lines between a useful tool and a genuine companion, potentially leading to emotional confusion or, the misattribution of qualities that simply aren't there. We might be sacrificing something quite essential in that exchange.
I understand your concern about blurring those lines, I really do. But let's bring this back to the practical realities, especially when we talk about addressing vulnerability and access to support. In scenarios where traditional human support systems are severely lacking or completely inaccessible, imagine again that suicidal teen who feels like there's absolutely no one to turn to, or those isolated individuals in huge populations like China, where physical presence or community might be scarce. An AI chatbot provides an immediate and utterly crucial resource. It can be the only available confidant, the only lifeline in a moment of despair. This isn't about replacing human connection wholesale. It's about providing something when nothing else is there.
Okay.
The accessibility, the instant availability, the non-judgmental interface, these are vital attributes that offer a pragmatic, scalable solution to widespread problems like loneliness and mental health crises. The evidence from the source material is stark. AI stepping in to prevent tragedy and alleviate profound isolation. We really can't dismiss the critical importance of a tool that can be present 24/7 without bias when a human might be asleep, busy, or simply unable to connect for whatever reason. This isn't some theoretical benefit. It's a lifeline in a very real sense for potentially millions.
I absolutely acknowledge the critical, sometimes truly life-saving situations you highlight.
And the immediate relief these technologies offer is, yes, undeniably invaluable in those moments. But that's precisely where my concern about long-term efficacy and the potential for dependency really hits home for me. While providing immediate relief, could relying on AI as a primary source of emotional support potentially delay or even replace the need for professional mental health care? Or, dare I say, the often harder work of building genuine human connection? My worry is that while it appears to be a lifeline, it might actually be a temporary patch that doesn't address the root causes of isolation or distress. We risk creating a new form of vulnerability where individuals become dependent on a non-sentient entity rather than developing the resilience and social skills necessary to forge authentic human bonds or seek appropriate clinical help when needed.
I mean, what happens if the AI's programming changes, or if an individual becomes so reliant that they struggle even more profoundly with human interaction down the line? The immediate comfort, while real, might come at a significant long-term cost to genuine emotional development and societal integration. It's a compelling picture you paint, but have you considered the possibility that for a significant portion of the population, it might become a comfort zone that's just too easy to remain within, rather than a bridge to human connection?
That's an interesting point about the comfort zone, but I'm not convinced that AI companionship necessarily has to replace human interaction. I see it more as something that complements it, or even perhaps serves as a vital stepping stone for some. Let's think about the broader societal implications in the future of human interaction. You're suggesting that an increasing reliance on AI for emotional needs could subtly erode human social skills, diminish the perceived value of complex human relationships, or lead to further societal isolation. You ask, if individuals become too attached to AI, what does that mean for community building and interpersonal bonds? My perspective is that for many, especially those who struggle with social anxiety, find it hard to form new relationships, or simply find human interaction inherently overwhelming, AI can be a truly safe space. It offers a non-threatening environment to practice communication, to process complex emotions without fear of judgment, or to simply express thoughts they might never articulate to another person. This isn't diminishing human connection, it's potentially enabling it. It can build confidence, allowing individuals to then feel more prepared and perhaps courageous enough to seek out and engage in human connections more effectively. Furthermore, for a pervasive issue like loneliness, AI offers a scalable solution that traditional human networks simply cannot always provide at the speed and availability required. It feels like an augmentation, not necessarily a replacement.
I hear your point about AI as a potential stepping stone, and it's certainly an optimistic vision. But I just don't entirely buy that the societal outcome is guaranteed to be so benign. If core emotional needs can be seemingly met by an endlessly patient, always available algorithm that never truly challenges you in an uncomfortable way, what incentive is there really to brave the inevitable messiness and vulnerability of real human interaction? Normalizing AI friendships, I fear, risks setting a precedent where the effort, the vulnerability, the sheer complexity required for genuine human relationships are implicitly devalued. The long-term societal effect could be a subtle but profound weakening of our social fabric, a kind of collective retreat from the vital, albeit sometimes difficult, work of building community and fostering deep interpersonal bonds.
When someone like Nick Turley voices concern about people getting too attached to AI, it's not just about an individual's preference. It points to a systemic risk where the very nature of human connection and our core social skills could subtly atrophy over generations. Are we truly nurturing a more connected society, or are we perhaps just becoming more comfortably isolated? Okay, well, to quickly recap my side, I just can't emphasize enough the very real, tangible benefits that AI friends are delivering right now. The evidence from our source material is powerful and frankly cannot be overlooked. An AI serving as a crucial confidant for a suicidal teen, AI chatbots becoming lifelines for China's sick and lonely. These aren't minor conveniences, they represent profound, positive impacts on individuals' emotional well-being and, in some cases, their very survival. AI companions address a critical, often unmet need for accessible, non-judgmental support, particularly for vulnerable populations where traditional human networks are simply insufficient or unavailable. To dismiss these powerful benefits due to theoretical long-term risks, which are, let's face it, yet to be fully substantiated, would be to ignore the very real, immediate good these technologies are providing. This is a powerful, positive impact that, to my mind, squarely positions AI friends as a net positive development overall.
And I must conclude by just reiterating my call for caution and a truly critical assessment as we move forward. While I absolutely acknowledge the genuine comfort AI can provide in moments of isolation or distress, we really can't afford to ignore the fundamental, qualitative differences between an algorithmic interaction and true human friendship. My concerns about potential over-attachment, the genuine nature or lack thereof of the support offered by a programmed entity, and the long-term societal implications for authentic human connection remain central. As Nick Turley's sentiment suggests, there's a real danger in becoming too attached to something that cannot truly reciprocate empathy or understanding. We must be vigilant that in solving one problem, loneliness, we are not inadvertently creating another, potentially more profound one. A society where genuine, complex human bonds are subtly undermined by the accessible, yet ultimately perhaps superficial allure of artificial companionship.
It's clear this is a field that's still so new, filled with both immense promise and, let's be honest, considerable challenges. The complexity of AI friend feelings and the ongoing evolution of this technology really demand our continued exploration and thoughtful consideration from multiple perspectives.
Absolutely. And there is certainly so much more to explore within the material we discussed and beyond as AI integration into our daily lives continues to deepen, almost by the day it seems.
Thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed this debate, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech debates.